Hello, and you are more than welcome back to Little Mr. Upstage, and this is 5 more things that I learned whilst doing my first quilt, which is this. Okay, because it's like when I'm on the phone, I'm like, this will be a 5-minute call and it's 45 minutes. So here's 5 more things that I learned, but I don't think I'm being indulgent. I think they are, genuinely good things that I learned as a beginner on a quilt. So, number 1, I learned that cotton isn't grippy. So usually when I'm sewing and if I'm naughty, I'll just, and it's cotton, same for garments, put the pieces together, whiz them through because I find it quite grippy, unless it is something that really needs lining up. But with this, things were sliding, and it got slidey the point of putting all the layers together. I think part of it's the weight, but yeah, cotton was slidey and not grippy. And I've seen quilters' gloves, people look like Michael Jackson, like the in a library as an archivist with the white gloves, and I've seen them in videos and thought, no, that's just one of those tools that you don't need. But actually, if I did a quilt of this size again, I would invest in some. Excuse me? I've just made Lancashire hot pot for tea, so I'm just digesting that currently. And cheesecake. So yeah, cotton isn't grippy. You knew that. Yeah, especially when you get that wadding in there, it really wants to slide. We've talked about it in another video about the walking foot and how that helps, but then it didn't have the stitch in the ditch option for going in between things. So yeah, cotton isn't grippy were the Michael Jackson gloves. That's what we've learned there. Number 2 is that layers move. Okay, so I touched on that just then. This little bit I'm going to talk about now, I don't think gloves would have helped. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. So when putting the layers together, I used the basting glue, that's what I've just looked at, that's been rattling. Okay, I thought that was going to be great, but then I don't know if it's because I've patched the bottom because I didn't want to buy any more fabric, or it's just a thing with layers. But can you see there? So, okay, right here. It puckered, it moved, I don't know what. We've got a fold in the fabric, it's quite that big. Usually I do want to be really precise, but it was my first quilt, so I had my own goals and expectations of it, okay? And for some reason, I don't know why, because I wouldn't, if it was a garment, I can live with that. It's on the back, even though it's a hurling piece, because I think, oh, everyone's going to look at it. But it's my first quilt. And I just wanted to get it done at that point. So yeah, it's a shame, but that layer just moves. So I don't know if it's because it's in the area where I patched and that gave it movement. So yeah, I thought it was going to stick I thought it was going to stick really well, which it did. I mean, I quite clearly don't have an answer for why that happened. Let me know in the comments if you know why. So yeah, you can pin things, with safety pins, but that would definitely still move for quilting. So I'm not sure. It happened. I can live with it. Number 3. So for the visible bits, I've actually used a light grey thread, which I think looks really pretty. Sorry, I'm probably like that whole video. A light grey thread, which I think is really pretty. For the bits you can't see, I did actually use white, because even though going to be the same price, I did have, which I'm sure a lot of us do, I had a lot of white in and only one of the grey. So I didn't want to have to buy more grey, and I wanted to use up some white. So for putting all the squares together, anything that's not applique, sewing all those together, and the rectangles, that was in white. The bit you don't see on the binding, that's in white as well. So yeah, just a good way of using what you've got and not having to spend money on more when you're not going to see it. Number 4, start small. This is how I end up with like even knitted blankets. I'll definitely fit under it, and I'm always keen on getting longevity and actually using an item. And part of that is because it's for the purpose and meets its function, which is I can fit under it. I'm 5'2", okay? I can fit under it. It will be a bit big on my bed, okay? I've got a double bed, but no, it will lovely. And if in the future I meet Prince Charming, my Norse Prince Charming or Yorkshire Farmer, apply within, then it will fit a king size bed. That's my walking foot. Just dropped. So yeah, size, it's great for the function. However, I really enjoyed doing, you know, the quilty bits and all cutting out, could cut out all day, very therapeutic. But it overwhelmed me. I kind of left it for a couple of weeks, and it was really hot in September here, so I didn't touch it. And yeah, the scale of it was just daunting. I mean, I really enjoyed it when I kind of was doing it and put it together. But yeah, then there weren't enough room on the floor, and when I was doing this, that might be why in the other tip it did move, because the floor weren't even big enough. That should have been something to mention. So yeah, I definitely started smaller, which is difficult because I don't have a child to do a single one, or, you know, any friends with babies. So it is difficult to know a purpose for it. I mean, a quilted hot water bottle is a lot smaller. So yeah, it's good that I'll use it and it's very functional because it's big, but yeah, it was overwhelming mentally, and getting it in my sewing machine as well. That was a bit of a wrestle. Number 5, you don't need a quilting table. They look great, and as you know, I like an official tool, but I'd inquired quite a few places. Some said like one didn't exist for my machine, one said it did, but it was like £60, I think, which is a lot of money. If I was quilting all day long, then yes, maybe I would get a quilting table because it is something I'm going to get use out of. But for one project this size, it wasn't worth it. I can't make, you know, a dozen quilts this size because I haven't got the room, even with vacuum packing. So yeah, I didn't need a quilting table, and this is, you know, huge, probably big double to king size spread size. So I still had to, for the bulk bit, when I was doing the quilting, the actual quilting, yeah, I had to kind of plan and manoeuvre things and go slow, but it's good to go slow sometimes, and I'd have wanted to do that anyway for the stitch in the ditch stuff. So no, I didn't feel like it was a major struggle too much. I used thick needle, went slow, it was okay, lots of planning, not too much. So no, I don't think I needed, for the price, I needed a quilting table for a one-off project, and believe me, I was tempted. I hope you enjoyed my 5 more things that I learnt whilst doing my first quilt. If you've got any things you learnt doing your first quilt, or you wish you'd done differently, let me know in the comments. And if you got something from this video, please do give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell, all that good stuff. Take care and stay inspired.